What's up, guys? My name is Jessekazam, and welcome back to the Ultimate Escape from Tarkov Beginner's Guide. In this video, we're going to be going through a few tips to help you survive more raids and survive more firefights in Tarkov. There's a lot to be thinking about in the middle of a firefight, especially if you have these external things like you're trying to complete a quest or you've got loot on you and you really want to get out. It can be stressful, so we're going to go through a few tips to help you survive more often. I stream Escape from Tarkov a few days a week, and all my links will be down below. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive right in. So my first tip is wear headphones. So this is kind of like a little bit of, choose your own flavor. If the headphones in the game really aren't for you, I totally understand that. I have often flip-flopped back and forth, but I wanted to bring it up because wearing headphones, at least for a season, will actually give you a greater understanding of the game. And so when I say headphones, I'm talking about like the Comtacs, the Tac Sports, the GSSHs, the Sordens, any of the tactical headphones that are going to help amplify relevant sounds like enemy movements and firefights, and try to dampen irrelevant sounds like rain or other stuff like that. So wearing them, at least trying them out, can be really important because it reveals to you how much noise you make to other people that wear them. So even if you don't like to wear them because you don't like the sound, it can kind of open your eyes to like how much noise you actually make, because you can be sneaking around thinking you're really quiet and the enemy just knows exactly where you are and they're just waiting for you. The obvious other reason to wear them is because they can provide a huge tactical advantage in you being able to hear when an enemy is close, especially close range, when you start being able to hear footsteps from much farther away, or they get a lot louder, and you can kind of position where your enemy is a lot quicker, so that you know what's going to happen before it happens. They can be a really helpful tool. They can also be kind of annoying, especially if you're playing with a group, because all of your guys' footsteps are loud. So I definitely recommend putting them on and trying them out and learning from them, even if you decide that you don't want to use them all the time. But they definitely can be a huge help. I would also say try them all out and then try to stick with a specific type that you really like. They all kind of have different sound profiles. Veritas actually did a video breaking down what's different between them. Some of those things may have been tweaked, but really at the end of the day, it's all about kind of you being able to get into a groove and know what to expect. If you're, go with a different pair each time and they're all kind of different, you're never really going to be able to get into a groove and know exactly what to expect from your gear. So I would definitely recommend that. The next tip is engage on your own terms. I know for me, I have lost so many firefights because I jumped the gun. I really wanted to get a kill. I didn't want to miss an opportunity when a lot more either relevant information would have been become known to me. Like if there was a duo, if I had waited, I would have seen the other person come and I would have been able to act accordingly because there was more than one. Or I just jumped the gun and I didn't connect a really clean shot because I didn't want to miss an opportunity, or because I just wanted a kill, or I really just wanted loot, or I was trying to get a quest done or something like that. So slow down, get all the information you need, and engage on your own terms, knowing that you can go into a fight and end it, or potentially completely shift the tables by getting a headshot on someone, one shot killing, and then seeing if there's a teammate. You can really rattle up a squad if you kill somebody or multiple right off the get, or if it's a solo, you can just end the engagement immediately. Obviously, this is Tarkov. You're not always going to be able to do that. A lot of times you're going to be reacting to other players. But for me, I really found that to be something that paid off in full when I started to slow down and not just immediately fire when I saw somebody. The next tip is huge, and that is reposition. So my background is I came from kind of like Call of Duty and console gaming, and I just hold forward and just shoot whatever comes. But tactically repositioning in this game is hugely valuable when you start a firefight and it doesn't end immediately. If there's ever a break where you get behind cover or he gets behind cover, unless you know that you are going to be able to stay in your spot and end that engagement well, reposition. Not necessarily to get to a place where you can get the jump on them and completely surprise them, but last known position is a huge thing. If they know where you were the last time they saw you, especially if they were the ones engaging on you and you got to cover, if you don't move, they know exactly where you are. But if you're able to sneak around cover and just confuse them, just get to a place where you know you're safe, at least for a little bit, and they don't have that, because you'd be surprised at how many people hold that position. I saw him go behind that cover. I'm wondering if he's going to be re-peeking, so I'm just going to hold it. So it doesn't even require these really huge tactical flanks or anything. Even just repositioning a little bit, you might be able to catch them just holding that angle that they originally saw you. And then if they push, you're not going to be there. Repositioning is huge. And then another thing to consider is height. A lot of times jumping on top of something gives you an advantage. People's eyes, especially in Tarkov, are going to be level with them. They're looking for you, if not down, if they're seeing if you're crouched or prone. And a lot of times if you can get on top of something, it just takes a little bit longer for people to look up and realize you're there, and it might give you the extra millisecond. In my experience, there's very few times where camping and just holding a position has worked out. Once again, if they knew you were there and you don't move, then you've kind of given them the engagement, unless you get a crazy play or something like that. So repositioning can be huge. The next tip is just knowing your ammo. You've heard me talk about this a lot, and everybody else talks about this a lot because it's so important. In Escape from Tarkov, a huge part of the ballistics is knowing the penetration values and the damage values of the ammo that you're using. Once again, I did a video about just setting the right expectations. Even if you have not top tier ammo, at least you know what you're getting into. You know headshots are going to be a little bit more important. But if you know that you have ammo that's going to be able to pen any armor that they have, or most armors, it just puts you in a position where you can end fights quicker because you're not having to just dump mags into somebody to zero out their armor. You can just end that engagement quickly. Knowing your ammo is huge, huge, huge. The next tip is know when to leave a fight. I struggle with this very much so still. Once again, the background is the Call of Duty, just getting kills and just mashing W. But knowing how in Escape from Tarkov, survival is the most important thing, right? Even if you get out limping and with barely any loot, you didn't lose the loot you had. So the loss is mitigated in a huge way by just surviving. And then anything you had on you, you get to keep and you get to sell. So knowing when to disengage from a fight, something that you're not equipped to take, or that engagement has just lasted too long and you don't know where they are anymore and you can just bail. Knowing when to do that is going to help you survive more raids because you're surviving an encounter that you otherwise may not have been able to do, especially if you're already full on loot or something like that and somebody gets the drop on you and you get a chance to leave. Knowing when that is huge. It's hard because you want the satisfaction of getting the kill, but it can definitely be helpful. And then the last tip is just never underestimate your opponent. Countless times on stream I've died because I'm like, oh, that's just a scav around the corner, and I round it and it was a player waiting for me and they line up a headshot and I'm dead instantly. Or you see somebody and they look low gear. That could be a million things. A 5.7 with the right ammo can one tap you in the face almost through any face shield. And then a lot of times, even just the gear not rendering, if you see them from far away, you underestimate that opponent. Or even if they have really bad gear, underestimating their skill with that gear. Once again, if you don't have a face mask on, even really terrible guns and terrible rounds can one tap you in the face. So never underestimate. If you are going to take an engagement, always take it like your life depends on it, like this is going to be the best player you've ever come across. And it might slow down your raids a little bit, but you are going to survive more of those encounters. And there are going to be moments where you have killed your opponent and you're like, wow, I thought that was a low gear player, or I thought that was a scav, or I almost died. I'm glad I did that. So those are the tips for today. Try out the headphones, engage fights on your own terms, reposition as often as possible, knowing your ammo, know when to leave a fight, and never underestimate your opponent. I really hope this helped. I hope that this gives you a little bit more to think about. I know there's a lot to think about in an engagement, but just practicing these things, hopefully it'll take your survival rate in the right direction and you'll start making more money, getting more loot, and having more fun in Escape from Tarkov. Thank you guys, as always, for taking the time to check out this video. Please leave a comment down below if you have any questions about this video, or if there's any guides you'd like to see me make here in the future. I'm always trying to make content that helps shorten the learning curve of Tarkov and gets you in your raids having fun as soon as possible. Thank you guys again for stopping by, and I will see y'all on the next one.